What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Going for Two. Now, news just came out. News was just reported that Joel Embiid has been shut down for the remainder of this season by the Philadelphia 76ers due to his left knee injury, his inflammation, whatever you want to call it, it's going on with that left knee of Joel Embiid. Now, one phrase comes to mind when I hear this news. It's about time. It's about time because Joel Embiid hasn't been healthy at all. He missed a heavy chunk at the beginning of the season, and when he came back, he got hurt again, and he's been in and out of the lineup. He can't play back-to-backs, so you're getting half a player. You're literally getting a part-time player. And this is not a knock against Joel Embiid because we know him when he's playing. I can't say we know him when he's healthy because he's never healthy, but we know him when he's playing. He's one of the best players in the NBA. This is a former MVP, a guy that is a walking 30 point. He's a walking 30 points, and you may be critical of the way he scores 30 points, but he gets 30 points nevertheless. You know what I'm saying? So we know who Joel Embiid is. We look at Tyrese Maxey, who's been great this season, who was great last season. Paul George, they bring in Paul George. Paul George has also dealt with injury as well. He's currently getting injections in his finger in order to play, so I think he has some torn ligaments in his hand or something or whatever, something that's messing up his play, and he's been in and out of the lineup as well. So this is a Philadelphia 76ers team that is 20-38 right now. They're 3 games back from the 10 seed. You're 3 games back from the 10 seed. Joel Embiid's out, in and out of the lineup. Paul George is injured. They should have been shut it down. I'm going to tell you why they should have been shut it down. Because the 76ers have a top 6 protected draft pick. Yes. If the Philadelphia 76ers end up top 6 in the lottery, they have their own pick. So thinking about all that, why did we hold on for so long, Joel Embiid? You know what I'm saying? If he was going to come, I'm not going to sit here and say when he came back he wasn't good. But when he came back, he couldn't stay in the lineup. And Joel Embiid's constantly telling people and telling the media, he says, man, I'm not the same, man. I'm hurt. I'm not the same. I'm going to have to get surgery. They were trying hard to avoid surgery, but he's going to have to get surgery on that knee, and we're going to see him next year. Me personally, I'm of the belief that Joel Embiid was in Paris last year. I hope that's where the Olympics were. But Joel Embiid was in Paris last year playing on the U.S. Olympic team. What? Why? If we saw Kawhi Leonard get brought back home, brought back to LA because they said, hey, we don't want you to go over there and get injured. Hey, we need you to do some rehab. Hey, we need you to make sure you're healthy for this season. Joel Embiid played through that whole gold medal run. And then he misses half the season at the start of the NBA season. What kind of sense does that make? If I was the Philadelphia 76ers, I would have said, Joel, you're not playing in the Olympics because we can't afford you not to be here when we need you. We're bringing in Paul George. We're keeping Tyrese Maxey. We're bringing in Paul George to help you try to win a championship. That needs to be your focus, not a gold medal. I don't know how important a gold medal is to the NBA players and to athletes. But to me, if I'm an NBA player, I'm focused on the NBA championship. That's what I'm focused on. Nobody's going to look at your career and say, hey, he didn't win a ring, but he won a gold medal. Nobody's going to care about that. So I would put all my focus on winning an NBA championship. And that obviously was just not the case with Joel Embiid. Now, it's even deeper for Joel Embiid because you look at his contract. Joel Embiid's set to make close to $200 million over the next 3 seasons. He's making $55 million next year, $59 million a year after that, and then $64 million a year after that. And then after these 3 years, he has a player option that he's probably going to opt into because that player option pays him almost $70 million, all guaranteed. It's all guaranteed, y'all. So Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers, why am I pushing this man? If he's not healthy, I'm sitting him down and trying to get him as healthy as possible. Why are we waiting until February 28th when we're 2.5 games out of the 10 seed? Not out of the 5th seed, out of the 4th seed, out of the 10 seed. Why are we waiting until today to rule him out for the rest of the season? You know what? If I'm Daryl Morey and them guys in Philadelphia, Paul George is next. We're shutting down Paul George for the rest of the season because it doesn't make no sense to have your guys out there playing hurt. It doesn't make no sense to do that. This season's a wash. You're not going if they were to sneak into the 10 seed. It's not happening now with no Embiid. If they were to sneak into the 10 seed, they would limp out of the play-in, and they'd face Cleveland in the first round. There is no game from this season that I can sit here and say that makes me believe that the 76ers will beat Cleveland in a 7-game series. And I know I'm not the only one that thinks that. I know there are people in the 76ers organization that believe that. And with that in mind, I'm thinking, okay, let's just wash it. Let's wash it, get our guys healthy. Let's run it back next year. Paul George is on a 4-year deal. You got 3 more years of Paul George after this. I just talked about Joel Embiid and his contract. I believe Tyrese Maxey either just got paid or he's getting ready to get paid. Let's get our guys healthy and let's run it back next season. But I'm not waiting until February to make that decision. The season's been gone. The season's been done. You know, I don't know if the 30-point loss to the Chicago Bulls was a I guess a red alarm or alert to shut it down, but it should have been shut down back in January. To me, that's how I feel. You know, because I'm especially knowing that if we finish with the top 6 worst record, we get our pick back. I think back with this specific situation. I think back to the Dallas Mavericks 2 seasons ago, the year they got Kyrie Irving, and they could have got the 10 seed. They could have got the 10 seed and got into the play-in, but they tanked essentially. They sat their guys for a must-win game, but doing that allowed them to retain their own draft pick because it was I want to say it was lottery protected. Retain their own draft pick, and they drafted Derek Lively. Derek Lively, if y'all don't know, he was an intricate part of them making the finals last year. And you look at this draft class coming in for this year, 2025 draft class. One of these top 6 guys, they could come in and they could change the culture. They could be a piece that helps you win now. You know? So I'm thinking, man, okay, if we're not going to compete for a championship, let's lose. I'm not saying tank. I'm saying if your guys are not healthy, sit them down. I understand it's tough for some players. Tyrese Maxey was just on camera after the game against the Bulls and said, hey, I don't lace up my shoes to lose. I'm sorry, Tyrese. But the way your team is right now, you're just going to have to take this one on the chin. You're going to take this one on the chin, come back next year with a healthy Paul George and a healthy, hopefully, Joel Embiid, and then that's when you're going to make your noise. That's just the way you're going to have to do it. But the Philadelphia 76ers, man, like I said, I think they should have been done. But we will see how everything turns out. I would not be surprised if Paul George is ruled out due to his injury as well real soon. So, but that's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks. Going for 2. We out of here. Yeah.